Let's watch some of the oldest ever recorded video footage. I really think it's amazing to look back at some of the original video footage. You can really see how they lived back then, and it's amazing to think how far we've come. So let's take a look.
1.
1874.
Venus, 1874.
It's a while ago.
The oldest photographic recording that we have footage of is actually a movie that features the rare passage of Venus over the face of the sun. Number 2.
I find it's amazing that even back then they were able to do video footage.
Roundhay Garden Scene, 1888. The Roundhay Garden Scene is widely regarded as the first true video and is the oldest surviving film in existence, as verified by the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a short silent motion picture film which only lasts around 2.11 seconds. Number 3.
You can take so much from just even the clothing. It's incredible.
1895. The Lumiere Brothers' significance cannot be understated. This video shows workers leaving a factory
They
in
don't
what is
look like great
surprisingly
conditions.
smooth video, and quite obviously a huge leap forward from the previous work by Le Prince. This short film premiered to an audience of 10 and was shot in 35mm film, the world's first. Number 4. Olympics, 1896. In 1894, a young French aristocrat
I love how the horse actually looks more like a horse than it does these days.
Baron Pierre de Coubertin called a gathering of sports leaders to establish the International Olympic
None of them look like they're
as
wearing
revived the
sporty
ancient
clothing, though.
concept of the Olympic Games. 2 years later, 311
Shoes.
athletes gathered in a brand new marble stadium in the center of Athens to celebrate the first Olympic Games of the modern era, a return to a proud tradition. Although the title says this to be the Olympics in Athens 1896, the video is most likely from 1906, as it features events which were not part of the 1896 Games.
Oh, they just landed on the soil.
Number 5. Arrival of a two-stage train in France, 1897. One of the short films of Auguste Baron showing the arrival of a train which has 2 decks. The upper deck has no safety rails and seems like people are...
This is quite funny because you see, it's almost similar to nowadays when in some of the trains that you see in India, where they're all crammed in. You got them on the top as well. But just look at the clothing. It's strange, isn't it? It's the sort of thing you see Queen Victoria wearing. The huge the dresses that go really out at the hips. It's incredible.
Walking on the edge of the floor to get to the stairs leading off the train. They may all seem too dressed up for today's standards, but were just following the dress code of their time.
It's fascinating.
Number 6. Early roller coaster Britain, 1898. Robert Paul is a largely forgotten name today, but he was a major pioneer of British cinema. Together with his partner Burt Akers, the pair developed their own projector at the same time as the Lumiere Brothers. This video of the Switchback Railway was shot on their prototype camera, an amazingly different design that did share a few fundamental similarities.
That's almost like the slides you get at some fairgrounds where you have to obviously walk up the side, and then it's that all the way down where you have to sit on the little rugged mat. I can't even think what you call them. Completely, I know what they're called, and it's just tip of my tongue.
With
Very
the Lumiere
basic.
Brothers design, but was also very different. Number 7. A trip through Paris, France, 1890s. Another early film by the Lumiere Brothers showing how the citizens of Paris traveled well over 100 years
What
ago.
even is that?
At this stage, the subway underneath Tuileries Garden would not open for another decade. What the Parisians had was so much more interesting and something that you would see today in a modern airport. They had moving sidewalks. People can be seen standing patiently on the platform as it moves them down the road. This innovation was so revolutionary that it
How cool and
commanded the
clever is
attention
that?
of Thomas Edison, who traveled
And you've
to
got
Paris
colour
to
as
see
well.
this modern marvel in the flesh.
Sort of.
Number 8. Lumiere Brothers Film Night, 1895 to 1900. In 1896, the Lumiere Brothers opened cinematography theaters in London, Brussels, and New York City.
Poor
They
horse.
showcased their collection of more than 40 films that they had shot celebrating the beauty of everyday French life. Memorable
Giving
moments
him the
included
bumps.
a party where a group of men are using a blanket to launch a laughing partygoer into the air, as well as two ladies giving money to poor children. Cinema attendees were captivated by seeing life's moments unfold on
It's
the
like
big screen.
feeding ducks, just chucking
Everyday
out.
life may seem boring and mundane, but seeing it on the big screen from a true observer's perspective was a totally new and foreign concept. Number 9. Living Wigan, 1902. Another one from the Mitchell and Kenyon collection, this vibrant film was shown as part of the Lancashire town celebration of Edward VII's coronation.
Lancashire. Not
People
Shire.
wave, cheer, and laugh at the camera as a tram worker unsuccessfully tries to move them out of the way by spraying them with water. It is a short, silent documentary film capturing street life of the time.
Look how busy it looks. Considering, they've put it in colour. Considering, obviously, the amount of people that, say 100 years ago, the population was a lot less. You don't see scenes like this now with a much bigger population. Look how crowded they are. The old guy doing the waters, it doesn't seem too annoyed.
Number 10. A Trip Down Market Street, 1906. This short film was made by the Miles Brothers and shows what daily life was like in an early 20th century San Francisco. It's a look back at the transportation, fashions, and architecture of that time in history. The film passes landmarks that include San Francisco's tallest building, the Call Building, and also the Palace Hotel.
Cars would obviously
It is culturally
only just start
significant
getting
as it
popular
preserves
as there's
exactly
still
what
horse and
San Francisco
cars.
looked like 4 days before the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. This was a time where cable cars, horse-drawn carts, and automobiles all shared the same road.
It looks manic. Absolute manic.
Number 11. London Olympic Games in 1908. This was London's first ever Olympics. The footage shows several events that were part of those games. As we can see, the safety of the participants was far below today's standards.
Safety is certainly lower. These days they've got these huge mats to land on, but they are just landing on the soil, on the sand.
See no mattresses.
And the technique's different as well. Like that high jump, it's a straight run.
The footage also features women's tennis and archery, which clearly shows how uncomfortable women felt competing in those long dresses.
It's not practical, is it? Not practical. Even the bows, it's just normal wood look. Rather than today, that's carbon fibre. It's just incredible looking at the differences, especially in these sports where you look at the clothing and it's just so not practical at all.
A Trip Through New York City, 1911. This footage was shot by a Swedish newsreel company and was originally a mini documentary used as an introduction to the immigrant experience to be advertised overseas in the hope of bringing workers to America, the land of opportunity. At the time, Manhattan had a population of about 2 million.
It's amazing how they can make things into colour nowadays. They can make black and white into colour. They're driving on the wrong side of the road. You also notice there's a lot more trams. Not that they're showing a tram now, but there was a lot more trams back then, which wasn't very practical for cars. I'm sure you could easily get your wheels stuck in the tram lines.
We hope you've enjoyed the video. Please give us a like and let us know in the comments how much you like taking a trip down memory lane.
Kids
and
playing
learning
football on the
about
road. Certainly when I was a kid, we'd play football on the roads, but not on roads like that. That's a lot of traffic. It's incredible. It's incredible. And actually, it's amazing to think that they were able to get this. They had this technology back then, because this almost reminds me when they had the massive cameras, had to put the veil over your head to be able to do the video recording as well. But it's just amazing to look back at the technology and the dress code. And like I said, with the sports, the clothing was so unpractical. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next time.